Do you look at magazines of people who are clutter-free and organized and think, that will never be me? Have you wanted to get started, but wondered if it was really worth it to take the time to clear clutter? Can the average person really, truly declutter and change their life for the better? Today on Clearing the Clutter Inside and Out, we're talking to a listener of our podcast who changed his life when he released Clutter. Be inspired by this month's guest as we continue our month focusing on summertime.
Are you overwhelmed by clutter, looking to organize your life? Do you feel stuck and are ready for a change? Every Tuesday at 1 p.m., join award-winning professional organizer and coach Julie Coraccio on Clearing the Clutter Inside and Out as she supports you in navigating the waters of decluttering your life and getting organized. Julie thinks outside the box and examines clutter in all areas: physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, energetic, and more. Ready to live a more joyful and fulfilling life?
All right, everyone, I'm super excited. I know I always say that, but I love doing this podcast. I had a listener contact me, and he said, I've listened to your podcast, I've read some books, I would like to share my story about how I decluttered and have gotten organized. I said, all right, let's chat, make sure he's just really legit, that's what's going on. We had a wonderful conversation, and I'm really excited today. You might have been listening to these podcasts and not taken these first steps and think, oh, she's a professional organizer, she's a coach, it's what she does for a living. But here's an average guy. He did it. He did the work. And he's moving forward. And I laugh because he'll send me things. Hey, this is what I put in the shower. It's worked. It's really clutter-free. So he is just doing it all. I'm expecting to get a call from him sometime soon telling me that he's now become a professional organizer and is helping people declutter his life. Welcome, Hugh Nguyen.
Hey, how's it going, Julie?
Thank you. I'm so excited to have you here. So just tell us a little bit about yourself, what you'd like to share.
Well, I'm a 38-year-old male who lives in California with a 4-year-old son, and I'm married to my lovely wife, and we've been married for 8 years. But just the past few years, I've been following you and been really awakened, I guess. Not only awakened, but just maybe enlightened in a little bit with just myself and where I'm at as a 38-year-old male living here, and what this all means, and even the stuff around me, what that all means. And I feel like I've changed a lot, and it's partly due to you, partly due to other people that I listen to, but just the whole concept of living lightly, living the best that you can with what you have, and what you have is the best. I mean, that's awesome to me, and I've grown so much just from trying to understand what that means every day.
I think that's wonderful, and I'm glad that I could be a part of your journey and that other people supported you, but you did the work. You know, when I work with clients, I say, okay, I can come in and declutter and organize, but if you never do it again, it's going to go back to the way it is. Or if I coach and I give someone, okay, here's your homework, and they don't do the homework, then their life's not going to change. But right. I want to know, why did you want to share your story? I think it's brave of you to do, because sometimes people will be really embarrassed about clutter.
I think a lot of viewers let me think. I think you have male viewers, but I think a lot of your viewers are maybe women. So I wanted to kind of like reach out and to be like, hey, I'm here. I'm a male, I'm a guy, and I think about these things too. I struggle with these things. So I was like, hey, why don't I reach out to Julie? She's impacted me so much, and I think I can add something, or I think I can help encourage others who maybe are listening but are thinking, maybe that's not for me, or maybe she's not really talking about me. But I'm here to say, hey, I've listened to your broadcast, I've learned, and I've developed over the years, and I'm who I am because of what you're saying, that, hey, it's not just someone like Julie who can do it, or someone who, is on Hoarders and who can go to these really like just messy homes and can clear. And it's not only for those type of people. It's for people like me, people, a normal guy who works, who has a kid, who's married, and but wants to figure this thing out of what it means to really possess things in our lives and how it affects us, not only in a physical sense, but in even emotional and even spiritual sense. So I'm here, and I just want to share with what I've experienced.
Well, I have to say, first of all, I've worked very rarely with men. I have worked with men before, and that's why I was even more excited, because I thought, wow, I think this is brave of you, because it's kind of like, I think most people think of clutter and organization, that's kind of the woman's frontier. And I know we're going to talk about it later and make that connection between a cluttered kitchen and being able to lose weight. And I love that you've gotten it. It's why I do this show, is to get the connection. It's not just the physical clutter, it is everything else. So I would like you to share with us, can you tell us what your life was like before you decluttered?
I wasn't your classic hoarder. I didn't have like an overabundance of things. I think a lot of your audience can relate to someone like me, where we're not like these extreme hoarders. We do hold on to things, and we do have maybe a little bit more than what we would like. Let's say what's stored in our basement or in our garages, things that are just still there and kind of like stuck in our minds until they're gone one day. So I think that I'm just a normal guy, just like you're a normal person in your normal audience, who experiences just struggling to not only keep up with their stuff, but to also try to add new things in their lives, but can't because they have so much. Back to your question, how was my life before? I had a lot of stuff, not too so extreme, but it did affect me. I was 50 pounds heavier, and I really feel that it's a big the big reason was these things in my life, and things that are around that was around me physically. I think it was kind of a symbol, or just something that maybe I was holding on to inside of myself, my emotions, maybe where I was at spiritually, trying to hold on to things and not letting things go, or not letting things go with the things that were maybe inside that I was kind of like dealing with. But until I learned how to deal with it and how to let go, how to like even get rid of stuff, it just all kind of like came together. I ended up losing a lot of weight. I ended up even through that, dressing nicer. My clothes fit me, and everyone notices, hey, there's something different about you. What's going on? They would say that. What did he do to change his diet, or what did he do to exercise to look so different? But it wasn't that, because I didn't even step in the gym once, not even once, and I had lost over 40 pounds. So it wasn't like an exercise thing that I did, or something that like, you press this secret code, and then you're automatically a certain way. It wasn't that. It was just mainly what I was dealing with inside. How could I get rid of the baggage, the stuck energy, maybe things that I was just holding on to? How could I kind of release that? And then through that, it manifested through the things that I've owned, and the things that I was able to get rid of, or give away. And in turn, it kind of manifested in the outer appearance, through the way I look, just even through working better, enjoying my work, understanding, why do I not enjoy work? What is it about it that I don't like? And once I dealt with that, then I was able to just kind of let that go. And then through that, my work got better, because I had a better attitude, a more positive attitude. And then again, my coworkers saw that, my boss saw that. Even my wife would mention, really? Why would you, before you wouldn't go out and do that with your coworkers, or you wouldn't. So yeah, to volunteer, just do the extra little things at work. And then I did, and it wasn't because, I had to, or I need to, but it was more like, hey, I enjoy it now. I enjoy who I am. I enjoy what I do. all the negative things I was able to just kind of like release from my life, and it appeared in a physical sense. And it's real. It's a real thing. It's not some made up thing that is just in your mind. It actually is real, and it can manifest in a real sense, where it makes a change in your life, how you live, how you talk to people, how you eat, how you sleep, who you spend your time with, what you spend your time with doing, releasing all the negative stuff, all the things that hold you down, all the unnecessary things. If you could do that, I mean, it's like night and day. It totally is. And I not only feel it, I mean, one thing is someone feeling it for themselves, and yeah, they're living this reality of their own. But then if other people can sense it too, seeing you feel it inside, then yeah, it's real, right?
Well, I wasn't lying when I say go out to clear the clutter to create the life you choose, deserve, and desire, because that's exactly what you've done. But everything's energy. And so whatever you put out there, you get back.
That's right. That's right. It's energy. And a lot of people don't understand this. And it took me 36 years to understand this, maybe 37 years. I've only learned about this maybe a year ago, in terms of this world just being full of energy, and everything's about energy, and how energy moves. And it's, you know, people have energy, and people give off different energy vibes, or vibes frequencies, right? So even that, like, how does knowing this affect my life? Like, you know, why do I have low energy when I'm sick? Well, it makes sense, right? Mm-hmm. Because physically my body's trying to like get healthy, so then it changes my energy. I don't want it to, but it does. And knowing that, I mean, it helps me to understand, okay, I'm having a bad day. I'm not feeling like I have a high energy talking to you. I'm sorry. It's because I'm sick. So then you can understand it for yourself, and then you can maybe
accept it. Then you accept it, and then it moves more quickly.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. You accept it, you understand it, and it's like, okay, tomorrow will be a better day.
Absolutely.
Surrounded by clutter, tired of the stress it creates, ready to find peace of mind and reduce your anxiety? Our comprehensive How to Declutter Your Life course guides you step by step in how to clear clutter and simplify your life. Each section is 3 months: physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual, and features manageable to-dos. A bonus month on clearing energetic clutter is also included. Choose either workbook or video course. How to Declutter Your Life is designed to build a strong foundation for releasing clutter and continued personal growth. Learn more at reawakenyourbrilliance.com.
What would you say to someone, because they might have been like, I've listened to your podcast since the beginning and I haven't taken that first step to clear clutter. So someone who hasn't taken that first step, what would you say to them?
I would say that, yes, it is scary, and yes, it might be a lot of work. I would agree with that. It is scary, and it is a lot of work, but it is worth it. It doesn't have to be scary, because everything starts with in right here. I believe our reality starts with what's in our brains, what's going on right here. It doesn't matter if it's sunny or stormy outside. What matters is what's in here, and how you talk to yourself, and what you say to yourself. What your reality is what you're telling yourself, basically, of what this world is and who you are. So it is scary, but we cannot live in that reality of fear, the reality that we make up for ourselves. I feel that it is an emotion, and it's very difficult to get over. Like, how do you tell my child, don't be afraid? I can't. I mean, if he's afraid of a monster underneath his bed at night, and I tell him don't be afraid, it's not gonna change him. But at the same time, he needs to understand maybe for himself that I lost my thought, Julie.
Okay.
So what were we saying again? Sorry.
You're talking about taking first steps for people who you
Oh, got it.
when it's hard if they haven't. What advice would you have for them?
Right. Okay. So going back to fear, don't be afraid. I know it's very difficult to not be afraid, but that is the first step, is to tell yourself, hey, this might be scarier than what I'm making it out to be. Let's take one step at a time. Let's just do one little thing. It doesn't have to be the whole house. It doesn't even have to be a whole room. It can just be one little drawer next to your bed. And you start with that. And then the next day you're like, oh, I feel a little bit lighter. Let's start on the other drawer on the other side of the bed. And then a week passes. And then 2 weeks passes. You know, you do these little drawers within the house. You do a cupboard. You do maybe a bookshelf. And start there. And it'll trickle. And I'll tell you this. You will feel so much lighter. I believe you will feel lighter physically as well, in a physical sense, where like the stress in your shoulders will lighten, because you know that, oh, that the drawer next to my bed that I cleared, I know exactly what's in there, and I know exactly what to find or where to put things, because I went through these areas in my life. I cleared out what was unnecessary. I kept what was only necessary at the minimum, right? And then, hey, over time, my life, my physical body will seem lighter, because you have this now sense or peace of mind that, hey, I have a somewhat control of who I am and where I am in this universe, because the things around me are in control.
No, I think that's fabulous. I laughed when we first interviewed. I was like, hey, can you get a pro mic? Because I'm really trying to have guests. He's like, I don't want to add to my clutter. And I was like, how can I argue with that? So I really, because of the podcast and pro mic sounds better, I was like, okay, we're going to use his headset, because I have to respect that. And I laughed that I'm interviewing you today. Last night at 11 o'clock, I dumped a whole bag of oats in the pantry. I was like, oh, I got it cleaned. I'll do it tomorrow. But I laughed. So I did the pantry. I was like, well, let's clean out the fridge. Then I'm like, well, let's look at our cookbooks now. And so after we're done, I'm going to go do more, because once you start, it truly, you build upon that. And, I go through everything I own every year. It's not just a one-time deal, but the less you bring in, the less you have to worry about it.
Exactly. And it makes it more challenging when you're living with other people.
Mm-hmm.
So who aren't at maybe the same maybe chapter in your life, with the whole, like, what do I have? What do I belong? What am I bringing in? What am I taking out? So that's challenging. But it is doable. It is doable. It just takes a lot of communication.
I'm going to wait for your email that you tell me that you've become a professional organizer. I think that you're off to a fantastic start. Now let's talk about clutter kryptonite, because I refer to this a lot. Like when I work with clients, I'm able to say, okay, here's where you get stuck. I laugh, for me, it's beauty samples. So during this process, did you learn, is there something that you gravitate to and collect? What was your experience?
I'm not a collector. So I didn't have like a clutter kryptonite in a physical sense. I had a lot of stuff, but it wasn't like, oh, I only collect roosters, and my whole house is full of, I wasn't like that. I just had a lot of stuff. And once you have a baby, it's like you have more stuff, and it just kind of like, it just went up, and I was like, oh, I can't breathe. So I got to a point where I was like, hey, we need to deal with this. So this issue of stuff, all of our stuff, because it's not just mine anymore. When you're living by yourself, your stuff can grow and grow and grow and grow. And it can go for a very long time. When you're married and you have kids, it grows faster. So if you don't deal with it, if I hadn't dealt with it, I would have been drowning with stuff. The kryptonite that I think maybe that I have to deal with is more of a mental kryptonite, more of, hey, the negativity, the negative stuff that I keep in my head, and why do I hold on to those things? All it does is bring me down. All it does is cause me stress. That's the kryptonite that I struggle with. I was taught that I wasn't a good you can't be a good person. So when you're taught that growing up, that you can't be a good person, it really, I mean, what other clutter is worse, right? So living life being told that, hey, you're not a good person, that was enough kryptonite clutter to deal with. And when I was able to deal with that, hey, am I a bad person? Like even asking myself that, like the past year or 2 years, just sitting down in a quiet place, for like an hour, at night, all by myself, just ask, hey, just think about that. Like, why is that true? And if it's not true, then what does that mean? So just processing it, understanding, hey, maybe it's not true. Maybe what I've been taught my whole life is a lie. If it is a lie, it's kind of crazy, right? You can believe a lie for so long, right? And it becomes like your reality for so long. And then all of a sudden you realize, is that true? Or is it false? So, yeah.
That's I would say, based on my work with people, my own personal experience, and, I've interviewed a lot of people, I've read a lot of books, that it really boils down to not feeling worthy, not feeling loved, and not feeling good enough. And whether it's from being told that in childhood or society tells us, but I think, the only person I can think of that probably has their crap really together is a Dalai Lama and some other spiritual people that I know that have gotten over that. And he's like, hey, I'm afraid of flying, but he owns it, he knows it. But most of us here on the human level struggle and deal with that. But what's so great about you is you've distilled it, you've gotten down, because the clutter is the surface. It's the digging deeper and being like, and you're saying, okay, well, and challenging, which I love. What if that's a lie? That's an excellent point.
Right. And I feel that it doesn't just have to end with clearing the space out of your house. It can lead to emotional things. It can lead to mental things. It can even lead to spiritual things. So it's not just, I'm going to clean up my house and I'm done. It's not that. It's a whole lifestyle, but you don't think it's a lifestyle change. You just think in the beginning that, I'm just clearing out my stuff. Once it leads into the other things into your life that goes beyond the realm of physical, then it becomes a real reality consciousness type of living and understanding. And I think that's so powerful. And I wish that everyone could experience it, and everyone can. The whole idea of living in a positive way, it sounds so hokey, right? You hear that on TV all the time, and it's kind of played out, and it's kind of cheesy when you hear it on TV. But I believe it's true in reality, where if you surround yourself with positive things, positive people in your life, then your life will change for the better. It'll be positive. You'll start thinking positively. You'll work better. You'll eat better. You'll feel better. You'll sleep better. So everything changes. But yeah, you just got to believe it, because it is true. And it's not just a thing on TV or a thing in the movies. I mean, it's a way of life, you know. It's living in a positive way, keeping only what's, you know, what gives you energy in life, what makes you happy. Why do we hold on to so many things that don't make us happy? It just doesn't make sense. And we do that for years, years. You know, 5 years will pass, 10 years will pass. We'll still have the same stuff. And it's sad, right? Because it's like it's shoved in the corner somewhere and it's forgotten. And a lot of it is, you know, our life. You know, we tell ourselves that. Let's put our life on hold. Let's put it on the shelf in some dark area so no one will notice, so I don't have to notice, and I don't have to deal with, right? And we do that for 5 years, for 10 years, for 20 years, for 30 years.
It is not easy. It's a lot harder to be, it's a lot easier to be on autopilot and do no self-examination, to have a self-aware life, a conscious life.
Yeah.
It's not easy, but it's worth it. Wouldn't you agree? In the end, it's worth it.
Exactly. It is worth it. The greatest thing is you don't have to be some rock star to do it. Yeah, and you don't have to be rich to do it. That's the best thing ever. All you have to do, or all you have to be, is just willing, just to start a little bit here or a little bit there. To start being true to yourself. Start, you know, asking yourself tough questions and trying to answer them, and not give any like BS answers because you're better than that. You know, everyone deserves to not get BS answers. So if you're telling yourself BS answers, then you're not doing yourself a favor. You're shooting yourself in the foot. Let's be honest and let's be true with ourselves, because if we can just be that like courageous to just even do that, just that thing alone, it'll change everything.
I love that. I just read it. I was reading something and my mind, a little sneaky ego mind, I was concerned about a situation that's going to happen in a couple months. And someone's like, but just wait till you get there. Take a deep breath and then you'll know what to say. But I saw this great quote called "Pretending is not resolution." I thought, oh, that's so brilliant, because much of our day do we spend pretending? Pretending you're not someone who you can be, so someone will like you. Pretending, you know, maybe you're more well off than you are. It doesn't solve anything.
Yeah. But you know what? We do it all the time, don't we?
Mm-hmm.
You know, we want to pretend because it's easier. We don't have to do the work, you know? I mean, yeah, you can pretend, and yeah, that's great. But I mean, is that reality?
Absolutely.
Surrounded by clutter, tired of the stress it creates, ready to find peace of mind and reduce your anxiety? Our comprehensive How to Declutter Your Life course guides you step by step in how to clear clutter and simplify your life. Each section is 3 months: physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual, and features manageable to-dos. A bonus month on clearing energetic clutter is also included. Choose either workbook or video course. How to Declutter Your Life is designed to build a strong foundation for releasing clutter and continued personal growth. Learn more at reawakenyourbrilliance.com.
Since we've talked, I love also that you have gotten the physical affects all the other clutter. You know, someone criticized my podcast name, and I said, well, you know, it really is about clearing the clutter inside and out. And I believe everything is related. And I just kind of chuckled when they said that. But how do you see your relationship with clutter? Because I think you've really embraced this lifestyle. You know, you're clearing the clutter, but you're also, along with the physical, continuing to do that self-examination. So what do you see in the future for you?
You know, I'd love to share what I've learned to other people, but I mean, how? That's the hard part for me. How do you really talk to someone about this? I mean, yeah, you tell them it's kind of a little bit about clearing the stuff in your house, but it's not really. I mean, it's the whole lifestyle thing, and like, I'm not sure if I need to go out to people and just kind of like proselytize this, because I mean, it's changed my life in a positive way. Or do I just kind of like wait for it passively and, you know, wait until someone says, oh, you know, I have a lot of stuff. And I mean, I don't really know how to go about it. You know, I'm experiencing right now myself all these benefits of living this way. So that's kind of like where I'm at. I haven't really like thought much of, you know, how or what or who to talk to in terms of
What
maybe.
about your personal relationship with clutter? Do you see yourself continuing to work on yourself, to not bring the physical clutter in?
Oh yeah, I mean, just even yesterday, like I was at work and something happened during the day where, you know, my coworker was just having an off day and kind of had a negative attitude towards me, and it really affected me because we're friends, right? So, but you know, she had a bad day and she probably wasn't, you know, there, you know, so kind of rubbed off on me on a bad way, and it really bothered me and it affected me like throughout the whole day. And I drive home and I come home and I'm kind of like in a bad attitude with my wife, and she didn't deserve that. So I was thinking to myself, man, even though I continue to work on this clutter thing, like a lot of stuff will still arise, you know, so a lot of stuff will come back up. And I need to constantly work at it and just remind myself, hey, you know, what is this? Why is it bothering me so much? What do I need to do to let this go, to live in a positive way, right? Because I could easily focus on the negative, and you know, my whole weekend would be off just because of that one incident. And I can't live that way. I can't live that way anymore.
Yeah, so you know, and again, people have often said that it's a lot harder to hold on to all of that stuff because they're worried, oh my gosh, if I maybe have to relive a traumatic moment. But it's more freeing to take those first steps to clear everything than it is to hold on to it and deny it and ignore it. It takes a lot more energy to do it that way.
For sure, for sure. And it's, you know, like I said, it's not just about clutter. It's a whole way of life. Uh, a lot of things, you know what? A lot of things it's that come into our life is not actual physical things. It's mental. You know, most of our day we're interacting with people, and a lot of energy is flowing back and forth. And we have to kind of like go with it sometimes, and not hold on to things that are negative, things that negatively affect us. We just kind of have to kind of let things pass us through, and you know, and it's an active thing that goes that affects us in here. So that's more of where I'm at nowadays. How do I let go of the clutter here? Um, and it's tricky, but it's worth it.
It absolutely is. Now, what three things would you like people to take away from today's podcast? Today,
Number one, don't be afraid. Just don't be afraid. It's easy to say don't be afraid, right? Because I mean, how can you not be afraid? But I mean, I guess you can only hear it from somebody else, what they've experienced. And I'm a normal person. I'm not a rock star. So hey, if you feel that you're normal, just like me, but you have to struggle with this thing of keeping things and not really understanding why you're not letting go of things, then you know that it is possible and anyone can do it. So don't be afraid. Two is it'll feel good. It'll feel very, very good. Take small steps, but when you start noticing the benefits, and then people start noticing the benefits around you, oh man, it feels very good. You feel like you're making a change. You feel like you're this like little caterpillar in this cocoon, and you're developing and you're developing, and then people start to see like bright colors because you know you have this nice, beautiful wing now, and over time it's like, whoa, really? I got wings? That's awesome. But yeah, it'll feel good. It's kind of like that. It's that feeling. Right? Some of your viewers might not know what I'm talking about, uh, but it's real, and you can have it. And I feel like I have these beautiful wings every day, You know, of course, some days I have my bad days, right? But 95% of the time, it's like, whoa, you know, I feel so good. So, point two is you will feel good. It is worth it. Point three, you know, you have to believe in yourself. That sounds cheesy as well. You hear that all the time on TV. Believe in yourself. But there's a reason why it's always repeated on TV that you got to believe in yourself. There's a reason why it's always in music, you know, believe in yourself. A lot of athletes, you know, they say, you know, we need to believe in ourselves. A lot of coaches as well. It's true. We need to believe in ourselves. We need to know that we can do it, and we can do it. It's just about just being aware, being truthful to yourself. And with that, hey, you can't lose. If you're truthful to yourself and you're aware and you're giving yourself good answers because you're being truthful, you deserve that. We all deserve that. So yeah, we can do it. We can do it. Was that point three? You can do it?
Yeah, you did 3 points. Good job.
All right. Awesome.
Now, is there anything else you want to share that you felt I didn't ask or that's important? I mean, you've been so inspiring today. I'm so excited when people will be able to listen and watch this.
Sure. I'm sure a lot of your viewers would be like, oh, like, what did you do to lose weight? Okay. First of all, no gym time. Okay. Believe it or not. In a span of maybe a year and a half, 2 years of clearing my clutter, not physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, clearing all that, right? Taking about maybe a year, 2 years span, lost of 40 pounds. So maybe I was at 190, my heaviest. Now I'm at 140. So I'm saying 40 is like, I'm, you know, between 40 and 50. So, so no gym. It was just clearing my clutter. So, and living light. So when you clear your clutter, you end up living light. So you don't hold on to anything anymore. Everything passes through you. So when things are passing through you, you become healthy. And I became healthy. And it was weird, right? No gym. Did I eat better? I probably ate less. That was the main thing, portion control. Because, you know, instead of going for seconds and thirds, right? I mean, I consider that clutter.
It is. It is.
I
There's
don't
a
need.
no reason if you're eating more than you need.
Yeah. If I'm satisfied, why do I have to go for seconds or thirds? So when I dealt with that sense of clearing my clutter, the way I ate, well, then it's kind of like my body's just kind of like, all right, you're gonna lose weight, and you feel better and you're happier, and you know it's a snowball thing, right? And I'm so happy. It was, you know, I kept it off for 2 years, so yeah, yeah, that's kind of like how I did it, how I lost weight, and yeah, no gym. It was a forced thing, you know. Like clearing clutter is not like a forced thing where like, oh, I gotta do this, you know. It's more like, hey, I get to do this because I get to feel this way afterwards, and that's such an addicting feeling.
Well, that's wonderful. Well, I appreciate you being willing to come on and share your story. It was truly inspiring.
Sure, and you know what? Just Julie, you can post my information up there or whatever. And if your viewers want to contact me or email me and say, hey, I'm thinking about this. How did you do this? What are your thoughts about this? I would love to tell people or share with people my tips, what I did, what I didn't do. You know, I would love to put myself out there, and whoever would want to contact me, because they're like, oh, like they're sparked a little bit, like, oh, like, huh. And that might be a beginning of something that will change their life forever.
Awesome. I love it. That's fantastic. Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, Julie, thank you for having me on this show. I'm so happy to be on this show. You've changed my life tremendously. So, I mean, you're a big reason for where I'm at in my life. So thank you.
Oh, well, thank you. I that touches me so deeply. You have no idea, and I feel honored to be a part of that. All right, everyone. If you know this has got to inspire you. It's not just me. It's the average everyday guy.
Clear your clutter. Clear your clutter. I mean, just do it. Just do it. I mean, what do you have to lose except bad, negative energy in your life?
All right, everyone. Go out, clear the clutter to create the life you choose, deserve, and desire.
Ready to clear clutter and share your gifts with the world? The journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step. So what step will you take today? Sign up for our newsletter and receive a free copy of our 10 Steps to Clearing Clutter. Julie Coraccio provides coaching, professional organizing and speaking, organizing classes, positive affirmations, and her unique How to Declutter Your Life course. Learn more at reawakenyourbrilliance.com. Subscribe to Clearing the Clutter Inside and Out and join us next Tuesday at 1 p.m.